He played with Bobby Mack. Literally had a nervous breakdown the entire round, and by the time they got to the fourth hole, he was losing by a stroke. It was, you think Tommy Fleetwood's a train wreck. You should have seen what this poor guy went through yesterday playing with him.
Yeah, you know what I want to say in this too? Like, the winner gets the entire pot of earnings.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Paige Beckers. She does it night in, night out. She's been absolutely fantastic for a Dallas Wings team that really isn't going anywhere. We'll see what happens in regards to where they're going to end up in the WNBA draft, because obviously, if they win it, they're probably looking at our buddy, AZ Fudd, to be drafted next year.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared.
And welcome in. It is in-game live game day and a marvelous Monday evening. Scott Wetzel and Gabriel Morency for the next 2 glorious hours, right up until 10 p.m. Eastern time, watching, analyzing, and of course, betting on the world of sports. Reaction as well from this weekend's college football, some NFL news, players getting cut, players getting paid today. How about that? We got MLB, little WNBA, and a flashback, bring back the old days at the U.S. Open going on right now. We'll get to it all over the next 2. What's going on, Gabe? How are you on this marvelous Monday?
Yeah, we're doing all right, Scott. It's the last Monday that we have before there'll be football every Monday. Yep. Next Monday, we'll be on for the TCU, North Carolina, Bill Belichick debut. And, of course, the following Monday, NFL football. There'll be no turning back. And I was thinking about it. So pretty much starting next Monday, Scott, there'll be football on 5 days a week, except for Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Right, you know, those Tuesdays and Wednesdays games start later in the year, obviously, when baseball stops. So for football bettors like myself, you know, I'm anxious. It was a little teaser on Saturday, Scott. That was like the appetizer, the breadsticks and the soup, right? That was like the rolls and the soup. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, so when's the main course coming? Well, the main course is coming this Saturday, but once again, we've got some appetizers on Thursday and Friday. But as far as right now is concerned, my mind and my money is on this Aces and Sky game, Scott. The Aces, hottest team in the WNBA, but it's a lot of points to be laying on the road. One thing about the Chicago Sky, guys, their games go sky high, right? They don't. You figure they'd be better defensively, Scott, right, with the type of players that they have. But they're really not. We've seen, since Angel Reese has been back, the last 3 games have all been high scoring. Right, so they're 3-0 to the over in their last 3. So I'm not going to overthink this, Scott. Over 166. Point spread is a little bit high for my liking. We've seen Chicago are a little bit scrappy as of late. So I passed on that, but I think we can get there as far as the points are concerned. And Asia Wilson's up to 25.5 tonight. So let's say the Aces are smoking them. She might not get 26, but I like that Angel Reese over 13.5.
I like that, too. A lot of points. I was interested, oddly enough, in the other game as well, Gabe, but maybe even more so Brianna Stewart.
Lower scoring, Scott. Lower scoring so far.
Yeah, right. With Brianna Stewart back, she's missed the last 13 games. She's had a back injury. She's taken her time, and this is a championship or bust club, obviously. It doesn't matter what they get into the regular season, right? They can win on the road, so they really don't care about seedings that much. So that was the excuse, but, you know, real super low score during the 30s at halftime. What do we got, 38-37? I would expect it a little bit more than that. 37-36 actually, but still at the half, 37-36. You get my point. Over under now is only 153.5, and then the Liberty's still a 9.5 point favorite. They were a 14-point favorite. Connecticut's actually got the second longest winning streak game in the WNBA behind Las Vegas, the team you just mentioned.
Didn't Connecticut too? Didn't Connecticut beat New York like last week, a week and a half ago? We were talking. Remember they did. Like Connecticut are another one of those teams, though, Scott. You can only take them if you're getting a boatload of points. You know what I mean? Right. It's like I took them as a pick 'em to win once at home, like last week. They lost. I was like, I was like, but they were so good as underdogs. But you know what I mean? Yeah. But Connecticut, I just sort of stayed away from that. I was like, it's a lot of points. And I know about the total of this one, Scott. It was 167.5 because I accidentally clicked this one. I wanted to bet, so I was like, I'm going to get my Aces Sky bet in. I bet it. I was like, this something doesn't seem right. I'm like, they're not playing the Sun, and I realized I clicked the wrong game. So I voided the bet. I ended up losing $5. They screwed me. Like, Scott, I placed the bet, and seconds later I go to cash out. It was like $5 less. I'm like, all right. Yeah, I'm like, you got it. All right. I'm like,
isn't that amazing,
thanks. Here's your free $5. I cashed out. Yeah. You won $5 already. I was shaking my head. I'm like, down $5 already.
It is. Isn't that amazing? Like you and I have been gambling as a lot of the viewers have forever, right? We've been doing this, since the inception of online gambling, right? And yet I still, every 2-3 months, I'll say, realistically, hit an over when I meet an under or hit a favorite when I'm at the underdog or you pick the wrong team. Yeah, it just happens. It's the craziest thing. You just, and you're like,
you feel like an idiot, Scott, when it does, though, right? You're like,
yeah.
Like I told the story. I was live on the air too, Scott. It was the NBA playoffs last year. I wanted to bet. I was betting $250 like all the time, like in game. I was like 250. I bet 2,500 by accident. Except I didn't know, Scott. I didn't realize until there was like 50 seconds left in the game. Because I was like, what number do I have anyway? So I got 202.5 or 202. What? I look and I see, and my eyes, I'm like, and of course it was losing. And I'm like, oh my God. And there was really, what could I do, Scott? There was literally like 52 seconds left in the game. Like, I was like, God, you're stupid. I was like, man, like, you didn't look, you didn't know, you didn't realize, or what are you going to do? Like, I tried. I was like, there's nothing I can do in 50 seconds. I can't, like, so then I gambled out of spite, bigger units, Scott, for like the next 2-3 days. I was like, I'm getting that money back. Like, it actually got a little hot, actually, but it's one of those things. Like, but full disclosure, I'm sure, like you, I have won due to my own stupidity sometimes. Right where you click the wrong thing. Like, I double clicked a bet last week, and I won more because of it. I didn't mean to bet that much on it. Right, like you said, especially like Scott, I bet. We bet a lot. If you click, let's say 100,000 times in a year, mistakes are going to happen. It's just we're humans, right? Hell, computers make mistakes.
Yeah, it's funny. That's fun. That happened to me one time. I was doing a bunch of bets. I'll get into it on the other side, and it actually worked in my favor. But there are plenty of others where it didn't work on my favor. But it does every blue moon. It does work to your favor when I had a bunch of bets.
And then when you make the mistake, then you think you're like. But before you're like, I don't know, maybe I should just leave it. Maybe it's destiny. Right? Destiny. But I knew, and you know as well as I do with this Liberty team. I was like 167.5. I was like, oh, dear God, no, I don't want this. Like, I didn't even consider like keeping it. I was like, I don't want this. With Connecticut and New York. That's not like I wanted the 166 with the other game. I'm like Milhouse in The Simpsons. All I wanted was the Carl Yastrzemski card with the sideburns. I didn't get what I wanted here.
You can't even just bet the other side because now the VIGs are so crazy now. And you're already down 25 points.
Yeah, then you're already down. Like they got you.
Yeah. All right, let's do 5 on the line real quickly. 5 best trends for tonight's games. We'll get into it here. I got 5 baseball trends. First one's actually underway. It started like 15 minutes ago, but the trend was so good. Pittsburgh and the St. Louis Cardinals still get the same number, under 7.5. Cardinals and Pirates 14-3 under their last 17 meetings. How about on the other side of things? How about an over series? That's the Angels and Rangers. 7 straight overs the last 7 times they've met, over 7.5 LA, Texas. Dodgers. This is a quirky one. I think it's nothing more than that, but every once in a while we'll throw quirky ones out there. Dodgers 11-1 under their last game 1 of their last 12 series. So the first game of their last 12 series, 11 of them have gone under. So let's go under 8, Cincinnati at the LA Dodgers. I kind of like that one anyway. Detroit taking on the Athletics. Detroit 21-13, one of the best teams against left-handed pitchers, including 5 straight wins. Starting a lefty tonight in Sears. Let's go Detroit. It's a big number, minus 205. And then the best one we have on the board. How about Seattle at home against San Diego tonight? Seattle 9-1, their last 10 at home. And they're also 8-1, their last 9 meetings against the Padres. So the creme de la creme, Seattle minus the 120 and change against the Padres tonight. 5 on the line. Good luck, folks.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, hour number 1, just getting underway. Let's recap those 5 on the lines. We got 5 pretty good plays tonight. We're going to go under 7.5 Pittsburgh, St. Louis. Nice little 14-3 under their last 17 meetings. Over 7.5 Angels and Texas Rangers, 7-0 run there. Under Cincinnati Dodgers, 8. LA 11-1 under their last 12 series, going under 11-1 in game number 1 of those series. Detroit minus the 205. It's a big number against the A's, 21-13 against lefties, and then Seattle laying the little juice at home against San Diego, as they've done a good job against the Padres, beating them 8 of 9, and they're 9-1 their last 10 at home anyway. So nice little 5 on the line. We got that. We got the WNBA, and I tell you, I am curious with this WNBA just because the Liberty are losing now, Gabe, to Connecticut, 51-48. I did take Connecticut. I took the both dogs. I played Connecticut with the 14, and I took the 10.5. In fact, I bumped it up to 11 on my site. I was able to do that with Chicago. I figured they would be competitive. So so far, so good. I don't know what excuse the Liberty are going to have if they actually lose this to Connecticut. For the second time, as you mentioned, and they had one of those quirky little things. Even Chicago and Las Vegas game, they're playing 3 times over the next 16 days. They play 3 times all year, East Coast versus West Coast, and it's going to happen over a 2.5 week span, which is just another example of how crazy the WNBA schedule is.
I've defended the WNBA schedule in past years. Scott, they've got WNBA, like they've had WNBA games on head-to-head with like NBA playoff games before.
Yeah.
Right? Like like the ridiculousness of their schedule. But I defended them from saying, listen, that's the networks, right? Counter programming. The WNBA doesn't tell the television networks when we're on. The networks tell them. But that doesn't excuse the bad schedule making that they have. Like, it's ridiculous. It's a clown show. I don't think this commissioner really knows what she's doing, to be honest with you, Scott, the commissioner of the WNBA. We talked about that Boston situation with a $325 million. Seems like they're going to have a big labor disagreement coming up here. And, and it's the last thing you need as your league is growing right now. I have my doubts about her. But as far as this game is concerned, I'm not a big Liberty guy, Scott. I just don't buy it, like this team. There's something about them. Maybe it's the championship hangover. Maybe because they're older. They don't really have younger players, this team. They're kind of older players that have been in the league a while. I don't know. Maybe it's too early and I shouldn't be dismissing them. But they're minus 3.5 right now. It's a little lighter. Like the money line, Scott's minus 250. I do think the Liberty come back and win, shouldn't they? But you and I have seen the Liberty lose a lot as big favorites, man, over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. And you keep on saying, coulda, woulda, shoulda, like, they're supposed, there's no way, right?
Imagine if we were just betting against them on the money line every game. We'd be up big because they're like 10-point favorites every night.
That's what I was going to say. They've been such big favorites. It's not even worth putting them in a straight money line parlay. I'll throw them in there. Why not? Right? But at 10-1, 11-1, like they are most of the year, 750.
Yeah, guys, they lost as 15-point favorites the other night. Remember last week they were 15-point favorites and they lost outright. Yeah.
Yeah. There's the WNBA, by the way. Chicago beats the defending champ. Then the next game they lose to Connecticut, the worst team record-wise in the WNBA.
They didn't get up for it as much. Yeah. For the record, Vegas are up 15-11 early. The Sky had a nice little start. They were up 7-3, I know, early, but the Aces have started to go on a little bit of a run. 15-11 right now with under 4 minutes remaining in the first. I'd like to see a little bit more points. In-game total is currently 166.5 right now, which is where it closed at 166. And I've got an underplay in this baseball game, Scott, in Toronto right now. Not looking good. It's like a good news, bad news scenario for me. I did take the Toronto Blue Jays as minus 150 favorites tonight. Tell you what, Max Scherzer is dealing, man. Another, like, Bieber was good the other night. Scherzer's been good. But the Jays' bats really got to Joe Ryan. It's only the second time, Scott, in Joe Ryan's career that he gave up 5 runs in the first 2 innings. He got hit in his last start, too. He just might be tired now. Dead arm, maybe.
Yeah, I got 2 hunches tonight in baseball game. A lot of plays, but, the hunches, you put them in those categories. That's one of them. I don't like betting on guys that were held over a day. He was supposed to pitch yesterday, but I guess they figured, okay, Rangers, big series, let's hold him, or not Rangers, but the big series, and we're going to hold him over and pitch him today. The Blue Jays, yeah. I don't. You throw guys off their rhythm, even if it's just a little bit. It's just a little, like I said, a little hunch. And here's the other.
And he got
hunch.
hit in his last start, so I think they thought, you know what, maybe he needs an extra day, right? Let's give him, you know what I mean? Let's just see if. But like you said, it hasn't helped him, and it's weird too because he kind of looks. He's not mad. He's kind of laughing, like frustratingly laughing. I've never really seen a pitcher do that, Scott. Like pitchers normally get mad. Like he's kind of like there was a home run and he kind of laughed about it. Like
that's
I was thinking that's not good. Like I'm thinking something's wrong with him right now. Like he's tired, he's mentally broken, long year, whatever it is. Scott Ryan's not himself tonight. You could tell.
Did you see Scotty Scheffler? I think it was Friday or Saturday. He's in the bunker, right? He hits a bad bunker shot. He slams. The first time I've ever seen Scotty Scheffler this mad. He slams his club down into the bunker, right? So then his putt, he missed the putt, and he's clapping, mockingly clapping himself. I was like, this is Scotty Scheffler? Really? Mr. Calm, Cool, and Collected? So it kind of reminds me of that. Oh, he did lose it. He did lose it. Here's the other hunch. Now, it's already 1-0, but you can still hop in on this. Jacob deGrom pitching for the Rangers tonight, Gabe. They skipped the start. We all know how many injuries this poor guy's had with his arm. And I'm thinking to myself, the Rangers are in a pennant race. They're in no position to skip their best pitcher's start, and they did. So I played the Angels tonight. I played the over team total 3.5 Angels. I played all the unders on Jacob deGrom props, whether it's strikeouts, outs. Just a little hunch that if like I said, if you're going to skip a start with Jacob deGrom, then something's not right. So
he's another one. He's another one that got hurt. That's been got lit up. He's been hit hard a bit, Scott, and he's been healthier than normal, right? So maybe it's starting to catch up to him a little bit as well. I'm with you. I didn't pull the trigger on it because I just felt like it was such a toss-up, but I did lean Angels in this game as well. So I saw it the same way you did.
Yeah. All right, NBA Live Game Day continues here on the Grid.
First time on a casino floor and feeling a little overwhelmed? Well, here's a tip. Lots of machines have a free demo mode you can try for practice. So give those slots a spin in practice mode before you start putting down some real cash. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
If the Golden State Valkyries make the playoffs, and right now at 18-17, they're one game ahead of the loss column versus Seattle and the Spartans. If they make the playoffs, you must, and I mean must, give their coach head coach of the year in the WNBA.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
And let me tell you, Gabe, very similar to the Bills and the way they lose to the Chiefs with that play. It took Canadian Nick Taylor to hit a 90-foot bomb to win the Canadian Open. So let's talk about the heartbreaking fashion. It's not like Tommy Fleetwood. Sure, he's given a few away, but he's also had many stolen from him in miraculous, crazy fashion.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid. This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, hour number one. A lot to get to. We got a little baseball. We got some tennis. Venus Williams in action, although she is down a set as we do a little flashback in time. And obviously a little football talk from this past weekend, including some bad beats in college football already. Week 0, and we already have a couple of bad beats. It is amazing. But time for our SGP same game parlay. All right, we're going to use that Seattle-San Diego game where the numbers say Seattle, and I do like them. They're playing good ball. End up taking 2 or 3 against the A's. A little bit of a struggle, but they are 9-1 their last 10 home games after losing 5 in a row. They've seemingly broke out of that. Padres coming off a monster series against the Dodgers. A little bit of a letdown spot here, as crazy as that may sound. So give me Seattle basically at home, minus the 126. I think that's a low number. Then we're going to use Cal Raleigh, who actually, Gabe and I can bring this up a little bit. He doesn't really hold the record for most home runs as a catcher. I mean, he does, but he really doesn't. That said, give me Cal Raleigh, hit 2 homers yesterday as a catcher. With 1 hit, minus the 2-1. Give me the RBI for Raleigh at plus 120. Then we'll use Louis Arise for San Diego to get a base hit. He's a lefty. Bryce Miller righty for Seattle. And then Miller to get under 3.5 strikeouts, even though we expect him to pitch well. But the Padres, then Kansas City, Toronto, the 3 best non-strikeout teams in all of baseball. 3.5 is not a big number. It isn't, but we'll take it just the same under, and that bumped it all the way up to plus 833. So Seattle, Raleigh to get a hit at RBI, Louis Rise to get a base hit, and then the under 3.5 strikeouts. Gabe, what do you think?
You know what? I think there's going to be runs in this game, Scott, tonight. I don't like betting, overs that much. I need a sort of a good reason to do it. You've got Sears on the hill here tonight. That's kind of a good start for a good reason to do it, right? And then you've got Miller on the hill here, who's kind of been okay. I think this number's a little light here at 8.5. But it'd be interesting to see how San Diego respond. Last week in this spot, guys, remember they lost on Monday night to San Francisco after the Dodgers series. The Dodgers lost to Colorado after. Right? Did they lose the first game? I think they did. They lost the first game to Colorado. Yeah. So you brought up the Dodgers. Interesting that they're 11-1 to the unders in game 1s of series. They've been to the under in a lot of games, right? So that's one thing. But one thing with the Dodgers, and I know them well, they've always been. That's when you can sort of catch them in game 1s of series. Is actually. Like, they've lost a lot on Monday nights in this spot. Like, coming off the weekend or coming off, like, a good run or they get back home. And it's usually to a mediocre team. The Reds are a decent team. The Reds, man, they've been on the road forever. This grind just continues for them, and they're holding their own. They've just been consistently 4 and 5 games over 500. They nearly got swept, and then they didn't, Scott, over the weekend again.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they came close, and it was like, no, they didn't. So they kept it's amazing, though, because I remember talking about it. I'm like, if they could just get past this, like, 46 and 42 range, then it was like 58 and 53, and now it's like 68. Like, it's amazing. They've been super consistent, but they can't, that next step. They're lingering around with the Mets right now. You got Hunter Green on the hill here tonight, Scott. I do like the under of this game, though. I'm on the under. Sheehan can be hit. We're kind of hoping that Sheehan's going to show up. Sheehan's got his stuff early in this ball game tonight. But big game for the Dodgers, big game for the Reds, actually, not just San Diego Series Cup. Big games for everybody. Big game for Seattle, San Diego, Cincinnati, and LA. Big time stuff on the West Coast tonight.
Yeah, we got some good series on the West Coast. We really do. So, we looked it up on the podcast, Gabe. There's about 7 or 8 teams. I won't go too long with it. There are about 7 or 8 teams that have gone the entire seasons without getting swept. But every one of them was at least 30 games over 500. That's the amazing thing with this Reds team. That in itself is an accomplishment. They're a 500 team. They're a couple of games over 500. So I can see if you're 101 and 61. I get it. Okay, you're gonna maybe not get swept, but this team's basically a 500 team, and they've been able to avoid getting swept. So
you're right.
They just can't get past that hump. They can't put that 7-8 game win streak together to really gain ground. They'll go 4-1, but they give it back.
I saw a thing the other night when the Brewers were good, Scott. The longest win streak of the year this year is the Minnesota Twins.
Wow.
Never would have guessed that. You know what I mean?
No.
Yeah, the Twins won like 15 in a row earlier this year.
Yeah, way back when. Yeah.
Yeah, like they were bad. Remember they were underachieving? I was like, oh, look, maybe the Twins are back. Oh, hey. And no, it wasn't. They grew. Yeah, but same thing. You figure, like, no one would guess that. The Twins, really?
Yeah, never. Yeah. Not even George Kurtz, our next guest.
First time on a casino floor and feeling a little overwhelmed? Well, here's a tip. Lots of machines have a free demo mode you can try for practice. So give those slots a spin in practice mode before you start putting down some real cash. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
If the Golden State Valkyries make the playoffs, and right now it's 18-17, they're one game ahead of the loss column versus Seattle and the Sparks. If they make the playoffs, you must, and I mean must, give their coach head coach of the year in the WNBA.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
And let me tell you, Gabe, very similar to the Bills and the way they lose to the Chiefs with that play. It took Canadian Nick Taylor to hit a 90-foot bomb to win the Canadian Open. So let's talk about the heartbreaking fashion. It's not like Tommy Fleetwood. Sure, he's given a few away, but he's also had many stolen from him in miraculous, crazy fashion.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid. This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Midway through hour number one. We'll update the tennis. Venus, down a set, but she did break. So in the second set, she's leading at 3-1 against Mukova.
She was plus 400, Scott, tonight. That was what she was. She was
bigger than
plus
that.
400.
I saw it 800 game. I saw
really?
Well, maybe it was minus 800. Maybe that.
That's exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. It was minus 800 plus 400 plus 450, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what, though, Scott? I did see her like plus 600 over the weekend, but like earlier tonight, it was like plus 450 before they served off. I was going to say first pitch, teed off for the first serve. Caller. I got some parlays going. Casper Ruud's playing tonight. It's funny. He complained like a lot of them did about the weed smell in New York. It's like, chill out, bro. Like he's saying how it distracts him on the court and it makes him sick. And, you know, he doesn't like playing in New York because of it. And he goes, it's not just here. You walk the streets. It's everywhere. It's terrible. Scott, I get it. People smoke weed on the grounds there, right? Like in the parks and in the property. No one's lighting up in the front row in Arthur Ashe Stadium, bro. So like the way he goes, I have people smoking marijuana right next to me. It's like, no, you don't. No, you don't. There's some dude in a park a half a mile away. And I hate to break it to you, Casper, but people in Queens are going to smoke weed whether you like it or not. So it's wafting through the air. But it's funny. He's complaining about it. He got lit up on Twitter about it, pardon the pun. But Carlos Alcaraz is in action later tonight too.
Yeah, we'll get to that, and then we'll talk about the fun of Daniel Medvedev over the weekend. It's a
what's the deal with the cameraman walking on the court too? There's all kinds of weird stuff going on.
Yeah, right. I'm just crazy. So we'll get to that. Talk a little baseball, a little football maybe as well with our good buddy George Kurtz here. What's going on, George? How are you tonight? Got to be in a happy mood. Your Yankees up 5-0. How about that?
7 now.
It's
Ooh,
7-0. Jazz Chisholm just golfed one out, so 7-0 Yankees. So yes, and I'm actually on the Yankees tonight. With Schlittler, who's become one of the Yankees' better pitchers, by the way, up against Washington. This is an important week for the Yankees. We talked about this last night, Scott. Right? Yankees, all right. You play Washington for 3, then you got Chicago for 3, but then they have 12 straight against Detroit, Houston, Toronto, Boston. All 4 teams they've had a hard time beating. So they really need to do some damage this week just to give them some cover in case the next 2 weeks after it don't go so well.
Didn't he nearly throw a no-hitter in his last start?
Was it his last start? Look at it. I think he went like 7 innings, sure, like 1 hit, but he was never going past. You know how the Yankees are. They're going to baby him. They won't let him go more than 7. They're certainly not going to go more than 90 to 95 pitches.
But he has been good. Like he has been pretty consistent. He's been consistent, like a 3-hitter tonight. Pretty impressive. I know it's against Washington, but still pretty consistent. He's
still in the Yankees' top 70 velocity pitchers this year. Think about that. Top 70 now. You know, he all at 98.5. The kid throws hard. They pushed him. He really wasn't supposed to be with the team this year, but with all the injuries, they didn't have a choice here. They've pushed him. His secondary pitches really aren't there yet, although they're getting better. He's throwing a bender tonight where if you're looking fastball, he throws the Uncle Charlie, you're done. You have no chance. So, yes, as a Yankee fan, he looks good. He does look good. Maybe a future number 1.
You know, he's allowed, when you look at his log, he's allowed 2 runs or less in all but 2 of his starts, and then the other 2, he allowed 3. So in, 7 starts heading into tonight, he's allowed 3 runs or less in all of them. Now, a little different these days, George. You go 5 innings, maybe 6 innings, so it still equates to a higher ERA. But in reality, that's why he's got an ERA of 3.22 so far. That's actually halfway decent. Would you trust him in the playoffs? Are you talking number 2 behind Fried? Would you go that high with him?
None of us knows how a rookie's going to handle. Is it in the Bronx with that crowd? You know, who are you facing? A team that Boston, which will be the media be going crazy? No one knows. But hey, generally speed travels, right? He's still going to throw hard. The question is, will the command be there? Would I trust him? Let me just put it this way. I wouldn't be betting on him that night, okay? I'd have a hard time doing that, to trust him that much with my money here. But I would have faith. I would have faith that he can get the job done. Like I said, he's been a nice breath of fresh air for the Yankees.
What are you on right now? Me and Scott. Scott actually did it. He had the courage to take the Angels. I didn't, although I liked them. DeGrom, he got hit in his last start. I think DeGrom might be getting a little bit tired right now. Just sort of felt like one of those trap spots for the Rangers tonight, George. It's only 1-0 right now, so we're going to the top of the 3rd inning. The Angels are up 1-0. In-game total 6.5 now. Did you bet this game?
I did not, although like you guys, I felt the Angels too. Although DeGrom, he might have got hit in his last night. They did skip a start. So I was, okay, maybe it's a little rest here. But I do wonder if DeGrom's hitting the wall here, where, he's just thrown too many innings now for someone who hasn't pitched in almost 2 years before this season. So I do wonder if that's a problem as well. No Marcus Semien for the Texas Rangers. They can't hit as it is. And now they lose one of their better hitters. All right. So he's gone probably for the season, 4 to 6 weeks. He's done. So it's hard to trust the Rangers. Not sure I trusted the Angels either, by the way. And once I heard that Trout wasn't going to play tonight, that sort of made the decision easier not to bet this game.
The Mets have put a 3 spot up on the board, guys. We got a 3-3 game. Scott, the Met games are crazy,
we
bro.
Talked about that. It's up, you want to talk about that?
Up, down, up, down, up, down. That's a Met.
Now it's the bullpen. Yeah. We'll see what happens. Yes, the bullpen for the Mets have been atrocious. If you're going to go in-game bet, I mean, you're not going to get a great price.
I think the Phillies beat them. I think the Phillies beat them -135. If I had to pick right now, what do you guys say?
I think they do. The Mets bullpen's been too bad, right? The ninth inning sort of even. Duran and Diaz, they're both very good. So it's going to be the middle innings guys. See what happens here. I was on Sanchez to begin the game. Small play, nothing drastic here, because I don't think people realize how good Sanchez has been. I mean, Zach Wheeler was, hey, that's a tremendous loss for Philadelphia, no doubt. But you can make an argument that Sanchez was the better pitcher this year. And that's saying something, because Zach was really good too. Sanchez has been fantastic for the Phillies.
I got it at Mets plus 370. Philadelphia's got to be doing something. My thing is showing a runner on first base, nobody out. There's no way the Mets would be that big.
No, it's
game.
No,
right?
no, it's minus 135 now. Plus, you got to hit refresh or something's up.
Yeah, I got to hit refresh. Yeah, you do. Every once in a while, you refresh. Yeah, I'm used to this thing doing it by itself here. All right, we got a couple of games. Well, actually, you know what? Boston and Baltimore, little Sunday night system in play here. Although the Red Sox are leading, the trips from New York to Baltimore is not that far, but they had the early game, bottom of the 8th inning. You want to take a flyer on the Orioles, down 4-3. George, 8th inning, getting 255.
Nah, I took Baltimore pregame. Maybe a little hope there. That once again, late night Bronx last night. Maybe Boston's won 3 out of 4. Wouldn't be taking this as seriously here. I took the over as well in this game, so I'm going to be sweating this out to get one of these. I am not going back in game. No, I'll pass. If they lose both, I'll take my licking here. Philadelphia, by the way, just bounces into a double play. How is this game only in the 5th inning, by the way?
Wow.
Max Scherzer's still pitching, guys, into the 6th inning right now. Something to keep your eye on. That his arm is strong, Scott and George. That, you know what I mean? When he came in, it used to be 3-4 innings. All right, what are we going to get from him? He's been pretty strong. He's been good tonight. There's been a few deep balls, actually, that have been right to the warning track, but they've stayed in the park. But he's up 6-1 right now. I just find it interesting. He's up to 84 pitches. I wouldn't tempt fate too much. I guess they figure, all right, this is the 6th. I would get him out of here after this.
Probably
I'm hoping that this game stays under somehow, miraculously. I got under 8.
You know what? I didn't take a game, but I thought about it. Ryan Scherzer, I thought this was an under game tonight, but I decided not to take it. But I did think about the under.
Only the second time in Joe Ryan's career, I'm watching the game, I had the sound on earlier, or the second time in his career that he's given up 5 runs in the first 2 innings.
He didn't have it. He didn't have it early. He just didn't have it. And they wrecked him early. He's on my fantasy team, so it's another reason.
But they were smoking the ball too. It wasn't just like they were scoring. Like Jimenez, guys, Andres Jimenez just hit his longest home run of his life, 422 feet. All right, and he's not a home run hitter. Like, he crushed it. Like, the one of the poor ball boys in Toronto really got decapitated earlier. Like, someone just ripped one down the line. like they're sitting there. They were hitting it hard, guys. Like, hard.
I tell you, if they get Scherzer to get into form, and with they've been talking about Alex Manoah. Remember him? Ranieri was telling me he was doing well in the minors. All right, we'll get George's thoughts on the games coming up.
Time on a casino floor and feeling a little overwhelmed? Well, here's a tip. Lots of machines have a free demo mode you can try for practice. So give those slots a spin in practice mode before you start putting down some real cash. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
If the Golden State Valkyries make the playoffs, and right now, at 18-17, they're 1 game ahead of the loss column versus Seattle and the Spartans. If they make the playoffs, you must, and I mean must, give their coach head coach of the year in the WNBA.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
And let me tell you, Gabe, very similar to the Bills and the way they lose to the Chiefs with that play. It took Canadian Nick Taylor to hit a 90-foot bomb to win the Canadian Open. So let's talk about the heartbreaking fashion. It's not like Tommy Fleetwood. Sure, he's given a few away, but he's also had many stolen from him in miraculous, crazy fashion.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid. This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
right, you think you've seen it all. Welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the Grid. Scott and Gabe talking with George Kurtz, SportsGrid radio TV host here. So there's a delay in the Met game. Good thing this isn't tennis, because otherwise, if it was tennis, they'd go back to the start of the inning. It would be, nothing, with nobody on, nobody out. I mean, what a dopey rule. So for some reason, there's a delay in this Mets game. I don't know if you guys have been able to
6-4 right now
why.
in Toronto. So suddenly we got a game.
Well,
and suddenly, they might have left Scherzer in just a little too long. I was just saying.
A little too long.
I'd be getting him out of here. Like, there's been a lot of balls to the warning track. It's been in a good game for him. He was in the mid-80s. There was one out in the 6th. I guess they figured, all right, well, I figured, it's probably a good time to get this guy out of the baseball game. And suddenly we got a 6-4 game just like that.
Wow.
3-run shot. There goes the total. Game goes over the number.
Yep. Right. There goes the total. All right. Seattle and San Diego. We got 3 good series here on the West Coast, if you want to count Texas, at least not East Coast here with the Angels and Rangers. We'll start with San Diego and Seattle. Where you go with this one? Miller versus Sears, George.
Sort of going with the same theory here as I did with going against the Red Sox here. Big series, Dodgers, Padres. Maybe the Padres are a little lax here. Bryce Miller versus Ginn here. Now, Miller is not... Out of the big 5 for Seattle, he's 5, right? He's not Wu, he's not Gilbert, he's not Kirby, he's not. Well, he may be better than Castillo at this point, but whatever. You get my point here. So, but he's still a good pitcher here. So I kind of like. I do like the Mariners. Small play, nothing great here. I took the under in the game though. I don't think there's gonna be a lot of runs scored either way. So that's where I'm leaning here. The under. And by the way, Raleigh can't keep hitting home runs. Right, he had 2 last night, so he's not gonna hit one tonight, right, Scotty? Not gonna do it.
By the way, guys, about Raleigh, I don't know how you guys feel about this. It's a quirky thing, but I love quirky things. So he's actually only has 40 home runs when he's been playing as a catcher. He has 9 home runs when he's been DHing. So they want to say he's got the most home runs in a season by a catcher, and I guess theoretically he does, but technically he doesn't. And I'm
they
into
do
technically
break that
when it comes
down.
to baseball.
I think the real record, they do break it down.
Yeah, Javi Lopez has the record of 42 homers back with the Braves in 2003. And listen, you can call yourself anything you want. If you're not a catcher that day, then, I'm sorry, you don't get credit in my world.
He will break that. I agree with you, Scott.
I
actually would agree with you. But your take would get buried in the mainstream narrative. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, the catcher. But
he's going to
agree
beat it anyway.
But he will go over that anyways, right? Like, he's going to hit a couple of more. Still, obviously, but I'll say, Kurtz, I like the over the game tonight in Seattle. I don't love the game. I don't really buy into letdowns like this. Like they're playing for a division. I believe in a baseball letdown midweek against a bad team. Like you're on the road and just whatever, and like your mind starts to drift and just stuff can happen like that, but. You're playing in a sold out in a packed stadium. Like, Like you can get caught. Like I remember guys doing the Expo games, visiting players would tell me all the time. They'd be like, it's harder to play here, like than other cities. Like, you can hear, Scott, when there's no one in the stands, you can hear when people are talking smack to you and stuff, like more personally. Like when it's in like a wall of noise, like guys say that. They're like, when you're in Yankee Stadium, you can't really hear anything. It's just sort of a wall of noise. And you don't hear specific things type of deal. They were like in Montreal, they're like, you could really hear people. And he goes, it's unnerving. And he goes, and you guys start banging the chairs here and stuff. And it's annoying. And it's funny. Like, Like that, the Marlins are a good example, guys. You go into the stadium, there's no one in the stadium. Like, you can sort of, midsummer, you can get caught up in stuff, and get caught in the dullness of it. But you're going into Seattle, you're the Dodgers, you're playing the Reds tonight, you're battling for the division. So I don't really, I don't see the letdown aspects of it, really. You know what I mean? In fact, I'm scared of the Seattle pick because I think San Diego could show up tonight, actually.
One thing you'll like here, Gabe, is that the Yankees do a name that Yankee on every broadcast. And while you're talking, it was somebody who played for the Expos. That's the name that Yankee. From 70, it's an easy one, mind. Some of these things are so obscure. It's some Yankee who played 17 games in 1987.
I was going to say it had to be obscure. Spike Owen. That was my guess. Spike Owen.
No. Tonight's the easy one. Tonight, everybody gets this one tonight.
Ken Singleton.
He played for the Expos from 76 to 90 and the Yankees from 96 to 98, along with a bunch of other teams.
It's got to be Tim Raines, right?
Of course it's Tim Raines. Who else could it be? Yeah. 76 to 90, it's definitely Tim Raines. They didn't announce it. I don't know who it is yet. I think they announce it maybe the top, whatever. They'll announce it in an inning or so, but it's definitely Tim Raines here. But I saw the Expos hat, so maybe look up on the screen here. Oh, they're playing Name That Yankee, which, by the way, I am god awful at.
You're bad at Name That Yankee?
They'll give you so many. He played. Oh, this guy played 16 games for the Yankees in 1987.
You're catching me
I know.
up. I'm like, really? Ain't like that long? Huh?
Yeah.
Like, really? Yeah.
I didn't realize he was on the Yankees.
He went to the White Sox, the Yankees. He played a long time, huh? Like,
yeah. He bounced around after he left the Yankees too. I think he bounced around a little bit. So,
the
any
Yankees were not
interest
the
in
last team.
Detroit? How about Detroit?
how many
with
World
Schools
Series
tonight?
championships did he win? 2?
If he
Or
was with
just
the
one?
Yankees in
Is that 2 of them?
'98, that gives him
I
at
would say
least
2
2.
off the top of my head, right? I'm just say 2, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say 2. Scott, to answer your question, I mean, come on, it's Detroit, all right? It's Scooble's pitching tonight.
Scooble.
Right,
Scooble,
so
yeah.
you're putting him in a parlay. I took him on the run line. All right, that's where I'm going here. No Nick Kurtz tonight, so my nephew's not playing. Gets the night off against a tough left-hander there. I'm on Detroit. That's one of my better plays tonight. I'll take the run line here. It was
So you say
minus
you guys are
220
related,
last
Kurtz?
I checked. No, we're not. It's a running joke here. Every time I'm on a show, he's my nephew, he's my stepson, he's my cousin,
You could be.
my brother.
It could be some distant, like, you got to say,
I do have relatives in California, okay? I do have relatives in California, but I think I would know about it by now. Granted, it's my father, so I haven't spoken to them.
You don't want a loan or anything, but maybe you can hook you up with some tickets or something,
Next time you're in New York, Nick. All right, come on. Next time you're in New York.
a signed jersey or something.
Like the last time, it reminds me. Last time we were in a mall with Wetzel's Pretzels, right? So I show him my license. I say, I'm one of the Wetzels. I show him my license. I got a free pretzel out of it. They thought I was like one of the owners. So that's what you do, George. You call up. Hey, call up the A's and say, I'm Mr. Kurtz here, so give me a couple free tickets.
You seem, Wetzel, you're the type of dude that on your birthday, you know all the local spots that gives away
yeah, free birthday gifts. Yep, absolutely.
Free lunch, free drink, free ice cream, free yoga class.
We go from stop to stop to stop. Yeah. 7-11 days. Oh, yeah, we take advantage of it all. George, great job as always, my friend. Enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll do it again soon.
Be good, everybody.
First time on a casino floor and feeling a little overwhelmed? Well, here's a tip. Lots of machines have a free demo mode you can try for practice. So give those slots a spin in practice mode before you start putting down some real cash. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
If the Golden State Valkyries make the playoffs, and right now at 18-17, they're one game ahead of the loss column versus Seattle and the Spartans. If they make the playoffs, you must, and I mean must, give their coach head coach of the year in the WNBA.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
And let me tell you, Gabe, very similar to the Bills and the way they lose to the Chiefs with that play. It took Canadian Nick Taylor to hit a 90-foot bomb to win the Canadian Open. So let's talk about the heartbreaking fashion. It's not like Tommy Fleetwood. Sure, he's given a few away, but he's also had many stolen from him in miraculous, crazy fashion.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid. This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the Grid. Fast first hour, closing it out as we always do with our Black Cloud Play of the Day. I know we got a couple of games left that we could use, so but that's okay. I actually do like this one. I think the guys do as well. We use the Detroit A's game. Hard not to like Detroit, right? You got Scooble on the hill. He's been terrific. He's coming off a shutout performance. Detroit's facing a lefty in Sears. Detroit's one of the best left-handed teams, versus lefty, 21-13, including 5-0 their last 5 against left-handed pitchers. Detroit's playing good ball. They broke out of that funk which they were in for about a couple of weeks, but they very quietly won 11 of their last 13. So give me the run. I won't delay the 2 and change. Won't ask you to do that. We'll do that in the 5 on the line. But for our play here, I'll take Detroit. I'll take my chances that if they win, the road team, guys tend to like betting the 1.5. When you got the road team, you get the 9 traditional at bats. Unlike the home team, if you're up 1, you're not batting in the bottom of the ninth, obviously. So A's have played well since the All-Star break. The 3 games over 500, 18-15, but I'll still take the Tigers on the road with their ace on the hill, laying a 1.5 game.
You know what's interesting, Scott? You and I talked about bad teams last week, or the perception of bad teams. And I saw a stat today about the Athletics when I was looking at this game. The A's are 34-32 in their last 66 games.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they're dogs, right? They're dogs all the time. But they're actually fine. They stumble. Remember, people thought they were going to be okay, but they weren't. It's hard, Scott, to play in a non-stadium. Like, we kind of think, what's the big deal?
Right.
It's tough, bro. Like, they don't feel like big leaguers. Like, they're showing up to a minor league park. Like, they're taking a leak in, like, in a porta potty, like, outside the outfield and stuff. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like they have 0. They get 7,000 people. Like, they don't, like, it's not good. Their stadium's a launching pad. It's a launching pad. Thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw when the Expos played in Puerto Rico. They were like, yeah, it wasn't good. they were like, it wasn't good. But hard not to like the Tigers. Listen, Carlos Alcaraz is playing, Scott, tonight. Minus 2,500 on the money line.
That was just 18-1 before. So
really?
that went up another 7. Yeah. This afternoon, so I was just making a little running joke, like, okay, I'm going to bet him. How was he going to lose, right? 18, and it's 25 to 1 now.
So 25 to 1. So I'm just saying, you put him with. I got the Tigers at 210. So if you put Alcaraz in this with the Tigers, it becomes minus 189. Minus 189. Exactly. Now I'm like, all right. Okay, now I'm listening. You know what I mean? I'm thinking, all right. I don't love it, but 189.
I thought you were going to say maybe 207, 206.
Me too. You and I talk about that. Like, I did it the other night for a soccer parlay, same thing. They did the same crap to me. I added something, Scott, and they added 5 cents to it. I'm like, come on, man. Like, what are you guys doing to me here? Like, what are you doing? Like, you can't tell me that the math is only 5 cents that I just added a minus 110 pick to this, right? Like, but they were like telling me, we're not letting you do this, right? So I'm a little surprised, too, because when I thought 210, all right, with Alcaraz, what's it going to become? Minus 204 or something stupid? Yeah. 89, I'm like, oh, okay, that's something. The Dodgers are at 140 tonight, so I don't, you don't need to parlay the Dodgers if you want to play the Dodgers tonight. But I don't know if you like, the Reds. Hunter Green's been good. Sheehan is sort of hit or miss. You don't really know with Sheehan. Dodgers minus 140 favorites there. But, yeah, I'm just saying, Scott, Detroit Tigers, Carlos Alcaraz is minus 189.
That's not bad. How about an Alcaraz? They got the games total. Like, I love these bets, right?
Yeah. So what?
Is
he going to sweep them at 3?
Well, here's what I'm thinking. It's 33.5, right? Even if he was to lose a set, which is asking for a little something, but it could happen. But, even if it goes 6-3, 6-3, 6-3, or, 6-3, 6-3, 3-6, 6-3, you still could get under that 33.5. Even 6-4 straight is only 30. I don't know if there's really going to be very many 7-5s. I know this Opelka dude's supposed to be a big-time server, but he stinks. He's 27 years old. He may have a big-time serve, but he's not any good. He's 23 and 17 all time. I'd be surprised if he took a set, but even like I said, even if he did, if Alcaraz wins 1-6-2, 6-1, like he's more than likely to do, they're still giving enough of a cushion there that it could go 4 sets and still get under 33.5 games. So I'm going to go under 33.5 games.
I'm a big total better, Scott, and I agree with your take. I think it goes under. Alcaraz, the top players don't. They like to make short work of this stuff early. They got to save their energy.
First time on a casino floor and feeling a little overwhelmed? Well, here's a tip. Lots of machines have a free demo mode you can try for practice. So give those slots a spin in practice mode before you start putting down some real cash. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
If the Golden State Valkyries make the playoffs, and right now at 18 and 17, they're one game ahead of the loss column versus Seattle and the Spartans. If they make the playoffs, you must, and I mean must, give their coach head coach of the year in the WNBA.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
And let me tell you, Gabe, very similar to the Bills and the way they lose to the Chiefs with that play. It took Canadian Nick Taylor to hit a 90-foot bomb to win the Canadian Open. So let's talk about the heartbreaking fashion. It's not like Tommy Fleetwood. Sure, he's given a few away, but he's also had many stolen from him in miraculous, crazy fashion.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid. This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
Welcome back. It is In-Game Live Game Day here on the Grid. Hour number 2, Scott and Gabe till 10 p.m. Eastern Time. A lot to get to here, especially over stuff over the weekend between the NFL stuff, the college football, the MMA/WWE. I think good news, the guy who got beat up is apparently doing much better in the hospital. What a crazy story that is.
Yeah, that wasn't WWE, but yeah, that did happen.
I don't know what that was. Right?
Rampage.
I don't know if you saw the whole video of all that stuff, Gabe, but they were like fighting beforehand.
Yeah, it's Rampage Jackson's son. So Rampage Jackson's a former UFC fighter, kind of like a big name. He was in the movie The A-Team. He was Mr. T in the A-Team movie. So he's got a son who's is a mixed martial artist. Yeah, and he's not a star. Yeah, he's not a star MMA fighter. It's not like, oh, he's a big up and he's just, his father, whatever. So he's a fighter. Yeah, and he got involved in a wrestling promotion in L.A., like an independent wrestling promotion. And it was a work, Scott. So in wrestling, it was fake. So, before the video you saw, Buddy hit him in the head with a beer can. But it was part of the wrestling bit. You know what I mean? It was like, I'll see you in the ring. And he hit him in the head with a beer can. He got all pissed off in real life and told him, I'm going to effing get you in the ring. And he did. He picked him up for real, dropped him on his head, and then started punching him in the face for real. The guy's fighting for his life. He's in critical care, Scott. LAPD are investigating. It was an assault. That was an assault. And how about this, Scott? Did you see the video of this one? This one, I was like, this can't be real. You know what I mean? This can't be happening. After the Kansas State football game in Dublin, Ireland. So Kansas State loses to Iowa State, and there's a fight there's a fight outside after. And they're rolling around in puddles, and it's all rainy and whatever. And all these K-State fans are like, this is embarrassing. Break it up. You're embarrassing the school. It was Avery Johnson's father and brother. They got into like a real fist fight, and like it was on video. Everyone saw it, and not like just like one punch or something. Like one of those separated and back at each other and rolling around in the mud, like in the puddles, and like it was pretty ugly, pretty embarrassing. Like I gotta tell you, I've never seen that, Scott. Like the son, the quarterback's father and brother getting into a drunk fist fight outside the game after the game. Never seen that before.
I mean, I saw the video of the MMA stuff, and I saw the beer can on the head.
Yeah, look this one up at the next break here and stuff. You'll see that just punching Avery Johnson. Yeah, you'll see it.
Wow. And how about the bad beat of that game too, right? Game,
the over, Scott. I had it. I had the over. Right? I had
it. I figured you did. I told I was working with Ranieri.
When I heard touchdown, I was like, ah! And it was even worse because they said touchdown. Right? I'm like, oh yeah, I went over after all. And I was like, oh. And then that feeling, Scott, of no. You're not going to do this, are you? No. I'm looking at the clock. And I clued in. I'm like, they're just going to take a knee here, aren't they? When I saw Campbell call him over, I was like, they're just going to take a knee here, aren't they? And they did. Oh, that was brutal. You're right. First game of the year.
We were on the air when that happened, right? And the TV set showed Kansas State with one timeout, Gabe. With about after they got the first down or they marked the ball at the 1-inch line, not a touchdown. There was like 2 minutes and 26 seconds left. And the TV was saying Kansas State had a timeout. I'm assuming they really didn't. Because if they did, they should have called the timeout. But they just made a mistake on TV. Yeah,
I don't think they did.
There aren't many times you want to have Mario Cristobal as your head coach, but that was one of them. Because Cristobal would have done something stupid, like ran a play, scored the touchdown, kicked off, and had Kansas State, score a touchdown to get the the kick, and you lose the game.
But it was the smart thing, what Campbell did.
Absolutely.
Like him and his staff. Did the math quickly very well, Scott. You know what I mean? And we as gamblers are better clock managers than the coaches.
Way better.
Because we know, we're like, listen, this is going to happen if you don't do this. Or if you do this now, you better do this now. Because as a gambler, we've seen all the scenarios, right? This could happen. That could happen bad. This bad could happen. Not this, not like there's a lot of things. And coaches get caught up in the moment. They're not good at it. Like they're not, they're football and they're not like clock people. Like, so we see them. They do a lot of stupid things. Fortunately, Matt Campbell. Cristobal, runs the ball. It's like, coach, just take the knee. The game's over.
Take the knee.
Game's over. Look, game's over. Like, fumbles, and then he blames the kid after. Wow, I didn't think he was gonna fumble. He should have hung on to the ball. It's like, no, don't blame a 19-year-old kid because you're an idiot.
Yeah. Then you had that one. I had Kansas State over team total. I did the smart thing, Gabe. I said, I'm just not going to count on Fresno State to get to 50 points because they're going to have to score.
That was frustrating over, too. It looked so good in the first half, Scott. I was even boasting about it. I'm like, this game's going to sail over.
And then the Kansas team total was 31.5. I got 31 points midway through the third quarter in a relatively close game, 31-7. It's not like it's 50-7. You call up the dogs completely. Starter stayed in there. I got to get one more field goal the rest of the way. And I'm not like praising myself for not doing the over 49.5 because, I was smart, Scott. You stayed away from Fresno State's having to score 31-7. They don't score. One stinking touchdown in the second half.
And how about that, too? It looked so good that Fresno scored on their opening drive. I was like, this is great. Like, Fresno can move the ball.
Right,
Kansas is scoring. I'm like, I don't know what people are talking about. This game's going way over. Like, I went to an MLS game, so I left, Scott, and I was feeling pretty good, like at 24-7. I was like, this is pretty good. I'm like, this is a good start. And I was thinking, final score, 35-20 or something like that, whatever. You know what I mean? More touchdowns, and it is what it is. Fortunately, this Saturday, we've got 1 million games to bet on, Scott, right? It was tough, right, on Saturday. You were on, so, we were on. It was only that game going on. There was CFL that was cool, actually, that started later in the day that I won. The big game went over. But this Saturday begins for real, man. We got Texas and Ohio State at noon Eastern. And the Clemson-LSU game is as big as it gets.
Yeah. Even like Nebraska-Cincinnati, and I'm a Nebraska fan, so
that's
I'm
Thursday.
a little bit more towards that. Oh, that's Thursday. Yeah, you're right. I'm looking at the
Thursday night. Yeah.
And
so Thursday we'll be on. We'll be on, Scott. So Thursday at 5:30 Eastern time is the first game. They're starting early. It's like a doubleheader on TV. So like Boise State.
Yeah.
Boise State and South Florida. The first game at 5:30. And then we got the Cincinnati Nebraska games at Arrowhead. So a neutral field for that football game. But high expectations for Iola and company this year for the Huskers. And I think they can go over their win total. Like, we've seen the progress with rules, programs all the time in college. Like, he wasn't a good NFL coach. Let's call it out for what it is. But at college, Scott, Temple, year 3, they got good, right? Baylor, year 3, they got good, right? Like Nebraska, he's been building this thing up. So people are, they should be a pretty good football team this year. This game's massive for them. They're going to win. They're 6.5-point favorite. They should win. And a big game for them early in the season, Scott, is my Michigan Wolverines going in there. That's sort of like, you know what I mean? Can you beat Michigan? That sort of proves if you're back or not. Did you beat Michigan? You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's the swing game. You want to have a successful year. You want to go over your numbers.
Get the buzz going with the crowd and the fans.
Yeah, that's the one. So, by the way, we had a guest on last week, right? Not to put the guest down, and I forget who it was, right? So he gave us a trend, totals, week 0. Week 0 and week 1, total 60 and above, all go under, right? We had 2 this weekend. Both went over. So
yeah, it started off slow, that Sam Houston State game, too. That was another one where it's like, I'm glad I didn't bet the over. It was a trap. And then I'm like, I'm so stupid. I should have bet the over when I jumped in.
Yeah. Amazing. And the other one went way over as well. Crazy. In-game live, continue. Look at the baseball board when we come back.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
welcome back. In-game live game day here on the grid. Hour number 2. Kind of a quirky night in baseball tonight, Gabe. When you look at some of the scores and some of the things that are going on in that, a lot of shutouts, a lot of blowouts. We've had that rash over the last couple of weeks. So we got 8-0 Rays. Guardians have 1 hit. We have 6-0 Diamondbacks and Brewers. All right, Diamondbacks just got their second hit. Otherwise, I was going to say they have 1 hit. We got White Sox 6-0 over the Royals. Royals only have 1 hit. So it's kind of like these teams are not showing up at all. And I got to tell you, by the way, for the Royals to be losing to the White Sox, they're ready to be put on my scratch off and never bet them ever again list if they continue to lose. You just can't go into Chicago. I mean, listen, I get it. These last place teams, we've rattled up
the Dodgers lost 2-4 to the Rockies. They lost 2-4 to the Rockies last week. It happens.
But the Dodgers have that luxury of like, okay, whatever. The Royals don't. I mean, the Royals are like going into this series thinking, all right, listen, guys, we got a chance to make some hay here. We got a couple games back of the Yankees and the Mariners. Mariners got a tough series. Yankees are struggling. We're taking out a White Sox team that they beat the crap out of all the time. I mean, but it's the same, Gabe. You just can't ask teams to do things that they've shown for 120 games that they're not capable of doing. They wouldn't be a 500 club. They just wouldn't be if they were able to beat all these teams.
It's like in football season, Scott, the most overused term late in the season. Well, this team really needs this game. They need this game because they're bad. That's why they need the game, because they're an average team. That's why it's a desperate game for them. Good teams don't need the game. Good point with the Dodgers. Whatever. You know what I mean? I know they're battling for division, but still, they're not. It's a different scenario. You're right, but I always get a kick out of that, right? Oh yeah, this team, they need it. They want it more. They need it more. It's good, because you want something in this world doesn't mean I want to win the lottery, Scott. Doesn't mean I will.
Yeah.
Right. You can sort of throw that out the window. Here's a shocking development. The Pirates just blew a lead. So the Cardinals were down, actually. They were down. Yeah, they were down 1-0 early. That was 1-1. Then it was 4-1. And now they just scored 3 runs. Yeah, now it's 4-4, Scott. So they just locked it here right now. We'll see what it pops up. I didn't bet this game. It was one of those. I have a lighter card tonight. I got some tennis parlays going. I'm going to play that Dodger game and some props later, and played the WNBA game. We're at the half for the record, Scott. 44-32 for the Aces. This Aces team's just on fire, man. They're just straight fire, this team. So they're up by 12 at the half. They're 14.5-point favorites right now. In-game total, 161.5. I played 166, so I'm a little bit off the pace. I need more from the sky here.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's that high because they only got 76 points. So if you just double it, it's 152. So they're still giving you a 10-point cushion in the second half. I took the Sky as well. That's all looking good. So Liberty didn't win. How many Breanna Stewart have in her return? She had 12 before. She finished with 19. 4-12. Then she was at the free throw line all day. 11 to 13 from the free throw line. So Liberty wins, but only 81-79. Forget about covering.
Speaking of player props, remember I said earlier, Asia Wilson, 25.5. I was like, Asia Wilson's got 5 points at the half. 4 points, excuse me. Four. That's unheard of for her. That's unheard of. She's 1 for 6 from the field, 4 points. And I did play Angel Reese, of course, and tonight's the night. She's not shooting, Scott. I don't know what the hell's going on. Yeah. Angel Reese played 18 minutes of the 20 minutes. So she played the whole time. She's 1 for 4 from the field only. How is that possible? Yeah. She got 3 points.
With the Aces coming in, you think, they'd be all up for it. Certain games you figure, okay, we'll poo-poo it. But she's only played 3 games since she's returned. That's why you think that she would be a good person to play, because she has all this energy, unlike the other, when you're on a 9-27 team. That's a little weird. That's anti-celebration systems in play, by the way. By the way, Asia is 15.5 points.
That's what it is now? So she got 4. All right, so it just started the second half. You think it sounds like such a low number, but they could just blow them out. And remember the other night, she scored 19. Maybe she's in chill-out mode now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, it's tempting, 15.5, right? Oh, now it's up to 17.5, so she wants to hit a bucket.
I've got one for you, though. I got one here. Just quick NBA, Scott. So NBA season's around the corner. Can't wait to add it. And NHL hockey, great time of the year when all the sports worlds collide. But FanDuel has posted this. They put this one up today, Scott. Will Victor Wembanyama get a quadruple double this year? Plus 1,900. So it's basically 20 to 1. Only 4 players in NBA history have gotten quadruple doubles before. And kind of in our modern era, Scott, I was sort of thinking, well, what is it going to be, old school? Like, Wilt or like who? David Robinson, Hakeem Olajuwon, Alvin Robertson, and Nate Thurman.
That's an oldie. All right, 3 out of 4 centers, though.
Yeah, and so Wembanyama, guys, so quadruple double. Not triple, not double, quadruple. So, points, rebounds, blocks, assists. 10 or more of all 4.
So they're only giving you, by the way, 19 to 1 on something that's only happened 4 times in the history of basketball.
Yeah, but there ain't too many kids that are 7'5", Scott, in basketball.
Well, that's the thing, right? So he's got to get the points, obviously, right? And he's got to get the rebounds, obviously. He does pass the ball around, right? I think the assists would be a little, although he does get a ton of blocks, Gabe. And I tell you, if you watch him play, he is, we joked about it in the break, one of the breaks. He does guard the point guard a lot of times, because he's so big and, he's
so athletic. Okay, yeah, Scott, I looked this up. I was wondering.
Did you get 10 steals as part of that, or does it have to be blocks and assists?
No, steals would be fine as well. I don't think, but I'm saying the blocks. But I'm saying here, so he had this, Scott. He had 10 blocks 2 times last year.
Wow.
He had 10 blocks 2 times last year. February 12th, 2024, December 21st. Those are his career highs. He's never had 11 blocks, but he's had 10 blocks in a game twice. It's doable at 19. If he stays healthy, this is doable, Scott.
Yeah.
This is the type of have fun. Put it in at 20 to 1 and kick back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Brag about how you had it.
Put $100 on it for 2 dimes.
First time on a casino floor and feeling a little overwhelmed? Well, here's a tip. Lots of machines have a free demo mode you can try for practice. So give those slots a spin in practice mode before you start putting down some real cash. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
If the Golden State Valkyries make the playoffs, and right now at 18 and 17, they're 1 game ahead of the loss column versus Seattle and the Spartans. If they make the playoffs, you must, and I mean must, give their coach head coach of the year in the WNBA.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
And let me tell you, Gabe, very similar to the Bills and the way they lose to the Chiefs with that play. It took Canadian Nick Taylor to hit a 90-foot bomb to win the Canadian Open. So let's talk about the heartbreaking fashion. It's not like Tommy Fleetwood. Sure, he's given a few away, but he's also had many stolen from him in miraculous, crazy fashion.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid. This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
All right, right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe. Believe it or not, talking NBA. Here's a goofy one. FanDuel has got this whole Victor Wembanyama specials thing, Gabe. I'm not sure what this exactly means. Wembanyama, so I see the quadruple double, 19-1, right? So Wembanyama to record a 6x5 in any regular season game. Points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks. And then it says 3 p.m. I don't know what that means. A 6x5. Does that mean?
I have no idea. I thought
6 rebounds.
I thought I have no
idea.
What
am I missing?
The hell does 6x5 mean? I don't know. What is 6x5? What? What are the odds?
Yeah.
What are the odds?
12-1.
12
in
to
any
1.
one game.
Any one game, but what? 6x5 what?
I don't know. And they're only giving you 5, so would it be 6? 6 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 6 steals, 6 blocks? Maybe that's it? But why would that be 12 to 1?
6 to 5, huh? As opposed to, okay. Is it the 5 stats? So that would make sense. All right.
Yeah. Then it has a 5 by 5.
I would rather do that than a 19-1. I don't have a problem with that.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, I mean, if you need a double-double, who I wouldn't worry about that. I'll just go by the 6. That's a big drop. 6 steals, 6 assists, 6 everything versus 10.
So for the record, guys, he got 10 blocks. He got 10 blocks twice last year in a game. He's had 11. So he had 10 blocks twice in a game. His career high for steals is 6. All right, so, the blocks he can do. So points, rebounds, assists, and blocks. He's had 11 assists before in a game. That's his career high in assists. So we've seen, all right, he's capable of the double-digit assists. He's he's only done it twice, but he was hurt last year, and he did it twice in games. So that's at FanDuel at the plus 1,900. So, we'll share where people can bet these things. This is at Bet365 I'm looking at, and I got a Wembanyama prop here, Scott, and I love this one. So maybe this is the same one, and it's just worded. So how's yours worded? Because this one is to record 5 or more triple-doubles in a regular season. Victor Wembanyama, 12-1. It's got to be the same bet.
Well, no, that bet is you got to get 5 triple-doubles during the course of the year. The one I mentioned is a 6x5 in any game.
Oh, in any game. Okay. In any game. All right. See, I'm confused by this. Yeah. So, this one is to record 5 or more triple-doubles in the regular season. I believe that Wembanyama will do it. We're talking about 12-1 for 5 or more. If he stays healthy, bro, they play, 82 games? Like, there's no reason why he can't. Dude, he's a walking double-double. Like, he wakes up. Like, obviously, he's a walking double-double. So he just needs one of these nights where he goes off and he has 10 assists or 10 blocks as well.
Yeah. I'm really surprised he doesn't have more than 6 steals in any one game. Because they do. They have him governed the point guard, for goodness sakes. They really do. He's so big and tall and
that's pretty insane, though. Well, his wingspan's so long, you're right. But you're right. It's pretty crazy for a guy that big. Like, he steals the ball from point guards sometimes because his hands are so fast. He's a freak.
How about Cooper Flag to get boy, they're not giving any break with Cooper Flag. 40 points in any one game is only plus 320. You want to go to 45, it goes to 15-1.
I don't know if he's getting that many. He's not really a pure scorer, Scott.
Right.
He's another one. Like, he's pretty all around. He's pretty all around, though, bro. Like, to me, and this is the prop I got for Flag. And I like this one is kind of this minus 120. I don't have a problem with this. Cooper Flag to have one or more triple-double this year.
Doubles.
One or more triple-double. Yeah, you see it too? So I got minus 120 for that. I think he's capable of that. Because I'll tell you, Cooper Flag, as you see, Cooper Flag, guys, like, he's a superstar. He really is amazing. He's an amazing player. I'm all in. But he's not like a drop like 45 a night type of guy. Like, he's not like a pure scorer. You know what I mean? Like, he's like Wembanyama, as good as he is, Scott. Wembanyama tops off at about 22, 24. You know what I mean? Wembanyama doesn't go. I know he's got a career high of 50, but I think Cooper Flag, he's a great passer, guys. Like Cooper Flagg has a super high basketball IQ. He's not a selfish player. So, and he's on the Dallas Mavericks. They have Anthony Davis. They have Kyrie Irving. I know Irving's hurt, but he's not going to be the primary scorer even on that team. You know what I'm saying? Like, he won't even be the leading scorer on the team.
Yeah. I'd probably go a little greedy and go for 2 triple-doubles at plus 440. I always get greedy. It's in my blood.
First time on a casino floor and feeling a little overwhelmed? Well, here's a tip. Lots of machines have a free demo mode you can try for practice. So give those slots a spin in practice mode before you start putting down some real cash. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
If the Golden State Valkyries make the playoffs, and right now at 18-17, they're 1 game ahead of the loss column versus Seattle and the Spartans. If they make the playoffs, you must, and I mean must, give their coach head coach of the year in the WNBA.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
And let me tell you, Gabe, very similar to the Bills and the way they lose to the Chiefs with that play. It took Canadian Nick Taylor to hit a 90-foot bomb to win the Canadian Open. So let's talk about the heartbreaking fashion. It's not like Tommy Fleetwood. Sure, he's given a few away, but he's also had many stolen from him in miraculous, crazy fashion.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid. This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
Welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe checking out a little baseball, a little tennis as well. Venus did lose. Give her a valiant effort. She lost the first set 6-3 to Karolina Mukova. She actually won the second set 6-2, but then she got blitzed in the third set 6-1. Tennis is so weird. It's so up and down tennis with some of these scores. I don't know how players win sets so easily and then just lose sets so easily. Even Medvedev last night, he's all ticked off and everything. He wins the third set, and then he actually blitzes the guy in the fourth set, 6-love, only to lose the fifth set. So anyway, Venus, a nice little story. The TV people got the 3 sets out of her tonight, which is probably more than what they were hoping for. So if you played the over,
you know what it is, Scott?
Games, it did go over.
I follow a lot of tennis. I've gone to tennis live and stuff. Like, I'm a big tennis fan. Tennis players, they're psychopaths. Like, they're very, like, temperamental. You know what I mean? Like, the best ones are the ones that don't break down. Like, Alcaraz is pretty calm, and he's a kid, like, but he's got, you know what I mean? He's like a 21-year-old that acts like a 30-year-old. Like, Alcaraz sort of has the demeanor. Like, a lot of these dudes, the Russian dudes, they all melt down, Scott. Like, one bad call, once things start going, like, don't go their way. The women as well. Like, the women is very sort of...
Especially the women, yeah.
Yeah, once it's like, you know what I mean? If they lose the momentum, they're in a lot of trouble, right? Like, the women, it's very...
A lot of it is like, if you're down, and I used to cover tennis when I was working over Wins, to a man / to a woman, like, if they're down 4-1,
they quit.
More concerned with, they quit, and they're more concerned with starting the next set with serve. So
they know.
they don't.
Yeah,
down
they know. Yeah, they
4-1,
know.
They don't want to win and then lose. On your own serve. You want to lose on the other person's serves. You start calculating. Okay, what's it going to take for me to be able to serve the second set with me serving first?
And also,
that plays a role into it as well.
They don't want to waste energy as well, Scott. Same thing.
That too.
As well. They'll be like, you know what? I'm down 5-1, 4-1, or whatever. Yeah. Like it's 4-0. I'm not winning this set. Like they know I'm not winning this set. Get to the next set, right? Like get it over with. Conserve. But Alcaraz hasn't started yet. It's the one cool thing about tennis, at least. Supposed to start at 9 Eastern, but it's been pushed back a little bit, Scott. I just clicked it. I went under 33.5. So let's get an Alcaraz route. Show up tonight. Give them a show, Carlos. nice, clean sweep. I like to see 18, Scott. 6 love, 6 love, 6 love. Come on.
There you go. And it's 9:30, because the Venus match lasted a lot longer. This thing was supposed to get underway, like I said, 8:30, 9 o'clock. So maybe he's thinking, you know what, it's 9:30. I don't want to be here till freaking midnight.
Yeah, exactly. I got to go to bed. I got to go watch Netflix in my hotel. I get this over with.
Yeah, I got to catch the end of the Dodger game against the Reds here.
How about that yesterday, Scott? That was funny. Rory McIlroy was in the golf tournament yesterday, right. The FedEx Cups, the playoffs, their championship and stuff. Must be nice, Scott, like to have your own private jet. Somehow the golf tournament, he was literally at the U.S. Open like an hour later.
Was he really?
Like he was on TV in the stands having a drink at like 7, 8 o'clock, bro, last night, live. He was there for the Novak match. And they commented, they were like, he literally like just finished playing golf 3 hours ago. He was sitting in the stands in New York. When you got that type of money, that's why, like, he's like talk about mailing it in though. After he won the Masters, he won the Masters, and after one thing with Rory though, he is a big sports fan. He is a big sports fan. He goes to Raptor games in Toronto and stuff. He's like an honorary Raptor fan. He's got his own jersey and stuff. Like, so yeah. But Rory lost yesterday and partying right after. Like, life of a golfer on the PGA Tour.
I know, like you said, it must be nice, getting that jet and fly right on campus there. No doubt. Not bad.
Yeah, but I wonder what it crosses his mind when he's on the golf course. He's playing. He's thinking, "Well, I got to go see Novak later. Hurry up!" And imagine you bet on the guy or something, Scott. In his mind, he's like, kind of what we were just talking about. That's why I brought it up. Yeah, I'm not going to win the tournament, whatever. Get it over with, and I'm going right to my plane, and I'm going right to New York for the U.S. Open.
Yeah. And you got listen. These guys are human, right? And when you win as often as those guys do, it's a win or bust. Now, if you're looking for a paycheck, then you're going to try. But McIlroy,
he doesn't care. He doesn't care.
I'm going to finish in the top 20, whatever. Not winning. That's the bottom line. I'm not going to embarrass myself. But let's get this thing over with here, folks. So, Brewers have blown a 5-0 lead. Now lead Arizona 6-5. So this Brewers team, 2-5. Listen, they were going to go, 20, and 1 over the next 3, 4, 5 weeks here. I get that, but 2-5 their last 7, starting to creep in just a little bit. All the breaks that went their way, Gabe, when they were in that great run, it's just it's evening out a little bit. They blew a lead yesterday in the 9th inning. Just a little bit. Just a little bit,
they were never as good as they were, though, right? Like, they won all those games, but we never really looked at them as legitimate. Oh, yeah, they're going to win the World Series, even though they won 12 in a row or whatever. It was 12 in a row, 13, 12.
Yeah, 14. Yeah, something
they got to 14.
Yeah.
So now reality's kicking in a little bit. But, listen, they could still win this baseball game, but blowing the lead. Speaking of which, the Phillies and Mets game, another sort of up and down, right? Now they're up 6-3 again. And they got runners on, so the Mets are up 6-3 again. Cards up 6-4 on the Pirates. Rays up 9-0 on the Guardians. And Seattle and San Diego are getting ready for first pitch, Scott. And for bettors out there that want to get in on this.
Yeah. You surprised the Seattle line is as low as it is. I know it's their number 5 starter, Miller, but he's pretty good. Sears is pitching for San Diego. I figured just Seattle being at home would be at least a 145, 150 favorite. They're only minus 126. Little suspicious with that. I still I got him in my SGP, same game parlay, but if they end up losing this game, I'm going to be like, I do it. That was too good to be true.
This is the one game I get blacked out from. I don't get Seattle games because I'm too close to Seattle. I'm expected to go to Seattle to watch them play. I get every other baseball game, but I don't I see this one right now, and it's like, yeah, blacked out. I'm like, yeah, thanks, guys. But you know what? I lean with the Mariners here, Scott. I do lean with the Mariners. But you know as well as I do, it's just the Mariners are very Houston-like, dare I say, in the same division. Yeah. Like, sometimes they score 6 runs, sometimes they have 2 hits, right? With Seattle, like, they're very erratic offensively. Suarez really hasn't provided much of a pop for them at all, Scott.
No, he really hasn't. It's amazing. I'm like, listen, I was all for the trade. You know, when I heard the trade, like, oh, that's the greatest thing. You put him in that lineup and this, that, what have you. Maybe others have elevated their game because he's in that lineup with him himself.
Rodriguez has been kind of better, and Cal Raleigh. They're carrying that offense.
Yeah. Raleigh's unbelievable. We talked about him. But by the way, Sears on the road, 4-5 ERA, close to 5, 4.87 for San Diego. He's pitched one good game as a Padre. They acquired him from the A's. One bad game. So his last one was good. I will say that, but I'll take my chances on that. Schoolable, right? You got to lay the run and a half and just hope that they win, and obviously hope that they win by 2 runs. Can't lay the minus. Although it is down. Well, it's up to 250. Well, let's see. FanDuel has. FanDuel's got it at minus 220. Yeah, it's gone up a little bit.
Or parlay. We talked about the parlay with Alcaraz. It goes to 189. But if you want to, we could get bolder with the Dodgers. Do you like the Dodgers or the Reds in this game? I guess that's the question. But for the record, a Detroit Tiger, man, the Tigers are up to 220, Scott, where I'm at.
Yeah.
So it was just 210 a couple of minutes ago. It's going up. Late night bailout special bettors jumping in. A parlay, how about this? The Detroit Tigers to win and the LA Dodgers to win is plus 149.
It's not bad, but I kind of lean towards Cincinnati.
Hunter Green's been great.
Hunter Green,
he's been great, guys. Listen, 13 starts, 10 of his 13 starts, 3 runs or less. He's been great since he's come back. He's a great pitcher. And in the history, the Dodgers really haven't seen him that much, but the Dodgers only hit 204 against him, for the record.
Yeah, I like Cincy tonight, believe it or not. All right,
I like the under.
Good luck. Yes.
First time on a casino floor and feeling a little overwhelmed? Well, here's a tip. Lots of machines have a free demo mode you can try for practice. So give those slots a spin in practice mode before you start putting down some real cash. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
If the Golden State Valkyries make the playoffs, and right now it's 18-17, they're one game ahead of the loss column versus Seattle and the Spartans. If they make the playoffs, you must, and I mean must, give their coach head coach of the year in the WNBA.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
And let me tell you, Gabe, very similar to the Bills and the way they lose to the Chiefs with that play. It took Canadian Nick Taylor to hit a 90-foot bomb to win the Canadian Open. So let's talk about the heartbreaking fashion. It's not like Tommy Fleetwood. Sure, he's given a few away, but he's also had many stolen from him in miraculous, crazy fashion.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid. This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, hour number 2. Some goofy things happening in baseball. Blue Jays beat the Minnesota Twinkies 10-4. That was not really in doubt. Mets have exploded for a bunch of runs. 5-6 runs, whatever it is, in this bottom of the 7th inning. They now lead 10-3. So barring something crazy, 1 down, 2 to go for the Mets if they really want to get themselves back into this NL East series. So this will cut the lead to 6. So as long as Philadelphia wins 1 out of these 3, but it would be interesting to see the Mets to sweep this thing. You want to have a little fun? Nationals have the bases loaded, top of the 9th inning, trailing 10-1. You could grab them plus 182. Can they score? I think there's 2 outs too. Can they score another run with the Yankee bullpen? Mark Leiter is pitching for the Stags, so they don't have an outfielder or anything like that. So they have a legitimate pitcher in there. But if you wanted to have some fun, Gabe, you could grab the Nationals now plus the 8.5 runs.
Yeah, I'll pass. I'll pass on that.
Okay.
I'll pass. San Diego and Seattle have started, and San Diego have a runner on second base, actually, to get this game going. But there's 1 out right now for the record. In-game total is 8.5. I was kind of leaning towards the over in this game. I didn't end up pulling the trigger. I know you're on Seattle in this spot. We'll see what happens in game here. I just find this game such a toss-up, right? San Diego, and also, not that I'm fearful of San Diego, but San Diego, Scott, are one of those teams where if I bet them to lose, they win. If I bet them to win, they lose. It's like I'm not meant to bet on San Diego games as a Dodger fan.
Yeah, well, that's it, right? As a Dodger
inherently,
fan.
I just want them to lose. Exactly. I'm like, but you know what I mean? I don't hate them like they hate us. Like, I only want them to lose if they're a game behind us. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think about them. But like, now it's like, all right, you know what I mean? Come on, step up for us. Yeah, step up for us, Seattle and San Diego. We're hoping the same thing, that the Cincinnati Reds can step up. One thing we know, guys, about the Reds and the Dodgers series. The Reds aren't getting swept, right? So are they winning 2 or 3, or are they losing 2 or 3? That's the question.
That's the question. Yeah, I remember that was all time. That was it, right? In the 70s and 80s, Cincinnati, those 2 best teams, and the National League, throw Pittsburgh in there, right? The 3 best teams year in, year out in the National League: Dodgers, Reds, and Pittsburgh Pirates. That's old school baseball. So, you won the war. Or you lost the battle, Texas. Maybe you won the war, but for our purposes, you won. In that, our hunch came through for the most part. Not how it was intended to, but it did come through with Jacob deGrom and the Texas Rangers. It is only 3-0 LA Angels game, so we needed 1 more run for the over Angels team total 3.5. But I mentioned we played all anti-Jacob deGrom numbers. And he only went 5 innings. His total was 16.5, 17.5, so he didn't hit that number. His strikeout total, which was very high, I thought 7.5. He came close. He got 7 through 90 pitches, but I thought they would be either he was going to be bad, which he wasn't, only allowed 3 hits and 2 runs, or they were just going to be conservative with him, because when you get a start skip, there's extra concern. So that was the case here. He was pitching well. They yanked him after 9 innings, so his strikeout total goes under. His innings pitched number goes under, and we need to get 1 more run out of the Angels. I don't care if they win or lose, but just get the 4 runs as their team total was 3.5. So nice to have those hunch bets are like more satisfying to me. Like, oh yeah, you know what? You were smart. You thought about this. You delved into it. It wasn't a stat or a trend or, it's just kind of a hunch play. I do enjoy winning those hunch bets, Gabe.
I think baseball bettors get caught up, especially younger bettors get caught up in it too much, Scott. Hard hit rate, ground ball rate, and all this other type stuff. For the record, the Nationals did score some runs. The game is over now. 10-5 final score. 10-5.
Must have been a grand slam. Wow, how about that? So if you played the little hunch, now that's just a hunch, just a goofy little thing. You must have been a grand slam, right?
That's a roll of the dice late. Yeah, when the bases were loaded, right? It was locked for me when you brought it up because the bases were loaded, so they locked it, but they came through. So, 10-5 final score. But, tonight was just one of those games where, statistically speaking, it didn't really make sense to like the Angels tonight, but if you've been around long enough, you could just sort of sense that this is not a good bet with the Rangers. The Rangers have not been a very good team, Scott, for the last month or so. And you talked about it. You brought it up earlier. You don't like pitchers when they miss a start, they're pushed back, this and that, it usually means bad things. And, to that, and I agree with you, to me it means that the pitching coach and the staff know something, right? That, you know what? Yeah. This guy needs this. Like, his arm is getting to be this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so that's, to me, it's almost a telltale sign. I just sort of had a bad feeling about DeGrom tonight. But the Angels aren't a great team. It's hit or miss. It was a coin toss type of game. They were plus 145, though. But as far as this Dodger game is concerned tonight, I'll play the Dodgers. Listen, I'll play that parlay with the the Tigers and the Dodgers. So Tigers, Dodgers, plus 149. I like the price. And I will play the under 8 in the Dodger-Red game. And hope for the best for Sheehan, because I think Hunter Green will be good.
Yeah. I like that as well. I like the under. I do like Cincinnati, leaning towards Cincinnati. And you're right. Just, you can bet the Reds every single game if you really, think about it. They're not monster dogs at plus 120. But if you want to buy into them never being swept, and they haven't been, just, all right, I'll bet, $100 on them tonight to win 120. If it loses, I'll bet another 100 on them tomorrow at plus 135, 140. They'll probably be, since Green won't be pitching. And if they lose that, then you double it down. You do the worst thing a bettor can do, is just you keep on pushing it, and eventually they're going to win one. So, I did that this weekend with them against Arizona. I had to sweat it out. We got to the third game, but we cashed the ticket. So not a smart way to go, but I would do it just the same. And if
it's a dangerous way to operate.
It is very dangerous. Yeah. It sounds good on paper, but then when you get to that third game and you're like, all right, I'm doubling my bet. I've already lost twice. And do I really want to do this? Is this really going to go the entire season? And then you start wondering whether it's really going to continue or not. So
the thing with baseball is that we saw it. We saw it a lot this weekend, actually, too, though, Scott. You see it. Like Baltimore. Baltimore get good, win 5 in a row, and then they'll lose 4 in a row again, right? Like, it's very, back and forth.
Yeah. Vegas leading Chicago now 67-63 in the WNBA. We'll check the point totals on a couple of the women. Yeah, that's what we need. More coming up.
First time on a casino floor and feeling a little overwhelmed? Well, here's a tip. Lots of machines have a free demo mode you can try for practice. So give those slots a spin in practice mode before you start putting down some real cash. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
If the Golden State Valkyries make the playoffs, and right now at 18-17, they're one game ahead of the loss column versus Seattle and the Spartans. If they make the playoffs, you must, and I mean must, give their coach head coach of the year in the WNBA.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
And let me tell you, Gabe, very similar to the Bills and the way they lose to the Chiefs with that play. It took Canadian Nick Taylor to hit a 90-foot bomb to win the Canadian Open. So let's talk about the heartbreaking fashion. It's not like Tommy Fleetwood. Sure, he's given a few away, but he's also had many stolen from him in miraculous, crazy fashion.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid. This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
Oh, He did it again. Is he catching tonight? Cal Raleigh, home run number 50. Wow, this guy is a machine. Let me see if he's catching tonight, Gabe, or is he DHing? This one count as a catcher? No, he's DHing. Fudge.
Oh, so it doesn't count.
Doesn't count. Take it off the board. Doesn't count.
It will anyways. You're going to see the headline all over the place.
Yeah, 50. Hey, here's one for you that I know you'll appreciate, right? So 36 years ago yesterday, Bart Giamatti suspends Pete Rose, right? And I've had this, you know me, I love conspiracies, right? But this is one of my all-time favorites, and I get a feeling you'll concur with me. The reason I've always said, Gabe, over the years, that he's not in the Hall of Fame, Pete Rose. Yes, he gambled, but I think it's honestly because he didn't rat anybody else out. And here's what I mean by that. Pete Rose, they have records of Pete Rose gambling in his office an hour and a half before the game. They have records of him gambling from the dugout phone. They have records of calling his bookie, right? So, you know, you're old school like me. There's no way in the world that when you used to bet, 20 years ago before computers and everything, what'd you do? You opened up the newspaper, you called your bookie, you got all the lines, right? He's betting 8-9 games. So he's not getting 1 or 2 lines. He's getting all the lines. He's writing them down in his newspaper, hanging up the phone. He's looking at his newspaper. He's calling his bookie back up 10, 15 minutes, whatever later. He's writing all his bets down. And he's doing this an hour and a half before the game in his office, Gabe, where there's 5,000 people all walking around. He's doing it in his dugout where there's all kind of people walking around. So long story short, it is impossible to believe that over 2+ years of him gambling that nobody walked in. And out of all the interviews he did with all the so-called experts and all these great, newsmen, no one ever asked him the question that needed to be asked. Not why did you gamble, Pete? It's how did you do that and not get caught? Not one time you didn't leave the newspaper wide open. Not one time you didn't accidentally put the newspaper in the garbage and someone look at it and see your note. I mean, it's impossible. They all had to know, Gabe. They all had to know that he was gambling, or maybe they were gambling through him. Maybe that's it.
I don't think they were gambling through him, but I think it'd be naive to believe he was the only one gambling, right? I mean, let's be real. I'm sure, though, that Pete was sort of open, when they walked by when he was on the phone with the bookie. And I know, listen, in Montreal, there was a payphone actually right like in the tunnel right outside the clubhouse. And I used to call and place bets. And someone told me, hey, you pay some bets from the same phone Pete Rose did. And I love that. I got a kick out of it, Scott. I was like, yeah, this is cool. And I thought, it struck me as odd, too. And I only realized after, I'm like, why would you have a payphone in a tunnel outside the clubhouse, Scott?
Right.
Otherwise for nefarious things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can understand there's a phone or whatever. So we got a phone, outside the dugout? You know what I mean? It's very bizarre. But I imagine when they walk by, he'd, say, oh, yeah, and it's Saratoga. Give me the 6. And he'd be like, give me the Phillies, lower it. Oh, yeah. And I like the Eagles. Yeah, and I like the Dodgers tonight. You know what I mean? So he's sort of about it. But in that investigation, it was discovered that umpires were betting and so they sort of buried him and they didn't, and he kept his mouth shut. He didn't rat out and say, oh, I know about this but I know about this another manager, this other player that's betting. So he did. But I personally think, Scott, he wasn't in the Hall of Fame. Put it this way. I think Pete Rose, him betting on baseball was the least of his sins in the world. Right. And there was some unseemly stuff, Scott, right, that was discovered. And,
wasn't a good guy.
No, exactly. And I think, and I think that basically a lot of writers just didn't want to put their name and have to defend it. First you have to defend the betting part, and then deeper, and be like, and I get it. And we get into the whole thing, Scott, about it's not a hall of good people, right? You know what I'm saying? It's not the Hall of Good People. It's the Hall of Good Players.
They never gave they never went to, like, no one's ever, like, gone to players on that team and asked what I just asked. Like, guys, none of you guys for 2 years walked in on him. You never heard. You didn't know anything. I can tell you. It's impossible.
I know Dibble.
It's impossible.
I know Dibble, the pitcher that played for him.
Right.
I was on the same radio station as him. I hung out with him personally, and I asked him at, like, off the air, like, you know, over drinks type stuff. And he told me, he goes, we knew Pete was betting. He never bet against us. That's what he told me.
Yeah.
He said the guy's too much of a competitor. But you know as well as I do, Scott, yeah, he never bet against you, but on those days that he didn't bet on the Reds, you know he thought you were going to lose.
Right.
He bet on the Reds like 4 out of 5 days a week, except when Gullen pitched.
Amazing.
Fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.